Hey there, Xander Fryer with Shit You Don't Learn in College, and today we're going to talk about the signs that overthinking might be getting in your way and the 3 things that you can do to overcome it now. So several years ago, Cornell did a study around our thought process, and what they found, we have over 60,000 thoughts that go through our head every day, and over 95% of the thoughts that we think today are the exact same thoughts that we thought yesterday. And of those 95% that are complete repeats, a majority of them are worries. They're us running through scenarios that are not necessarily true, thought processing through things that haven't even happened yet. And what they found in this study in Cornell is they found that of all the scenarios that we worry about and that we overthink about, 85% of the time, these things never happen. And of the 15% of the time that they actually do happen, 80% of the time, it's actually not as bad as we thought or necessary for our own growth and progression in our next steps. That means 97% of the time, our worries are completely baseless and unnecessary. Think about that for a second. Now, if this sounds like you, if you're one of those people that has these worries go on and then they never happen, or you think about things and you're completely overthinking and then all of a sudden the thing happens and it's actually not that bad, this might be you. And the truth is that overthinking is the exact thing that's preventing you from being successful. Now, it's not your fault because overthinking is actually something that we're all taught in school. I bet you didn't know that. See, what happens in school is you're taught that you get one shot at the test. You're taught that you get one shot at the project or one shot at the essay. So what do? We study, study, study. We think. We analyze every possible process, every possible question that could be on the test in order to do the best that we can. But the truth is, in the real world, this is not the way that things work. In school, you have to learn, and then you take the action, the test, the project, the essay. In the real world, you take the action, and that's what causes you to learn. Think about swimming. You can't learn how to swim from a book and then jump in the pool and be an expert swimmer. Would never work that way. You have to jump in the pool and go, holy crap, I floundered, I couldn't figure that out. And then you go back to the book and go, why did I flounder? Oh, I didn't do this with my hands. Oh, I didn't do this with my feet. And then you jump back in the pool and you flounder a little bit more, but at least you get your hands right. And then you go back and you go, oh, I wasn't doing this with my breath work. You do that back and forth, and eventually you become a pretty good swimmer. But it's this iterative process. It's this balance between thinking and action, action and thinking. This iterative relationship that leads to true growth, which is not the way things are done in school. So it's not your fault, but you've been programmed to be an overthinker from a very, very young age. So today, I want to give you 3 tools that I share with every single one of my clients to make sure that they are never overthinkers. Because if you want to be a successful entrepreneur, indecision and overthinking is the end of your business. So the first rule that I share with my audience is what I call the Colin Powell rule. Now, for anybody who doesn't know who Colin Powell is, he was the Secretary of State during the Bush administration during 9/11 and the war on terrorism. Now, during this time, the US was in a war. And there was a reporter from CNN that asked Colin Powell, they said, you are leading one of the most important situations in our country's recent history, and every decision that you make, there's thousands of people's lives at stake. How do you make these decisions confidently and quickly? And he said, well, every leader has to get comfortable confidently making decisions before they feel ready. And he said, to do this, I have what I call a 40-70 rule. He said, if I don't have 40% of the information necessary to make a decision, then I don't have enough information to make an educated decision. But if I have over 70% of the information, then I've waited too long and people will die. In the end, speed of decision making is necessary. And I want this to sit with you for a second, because the truth is, when you're making decisions, it might not be people's lives that are at hand, but it is your livelihood. It is your life. And the longer you wait, the longer you hesitate, the more you think you have to think about it, the more will pass you by. In the end, success loves speed. And in the end, indecision is what kills dreams. So you have to make sure that you're making decisions faster. Ask yourself, am I waiting for 90, 95, even 100% of the information before I make a decision? Because if you are, you're waiting too long. 40% to 70%, that's the sweet spot. Now, the second tool that I use is what Mel Robbins calls her 5-second rule. I first used this when I decided to be an idiot and wake up at the ass crack of dawn, either 5 in the morning or 4 in the morning or whatever time you want to wake up in the morning. I basically set an alarm, and I knew that in the morning when I woke up, I was not going to want to get out of bed. So I posted a sticky note that said 3, 2, 1, blast off on the nightstand right next to my table. Now, Mel Robbins has a 5-second rule. She says you have about 5 seconds in your brain to take an action before your brain will start to poo-poo the idea and just knock it down until you make the decision not to do anything about it. You have 5 seconds before the overthinking, the indecision leads to doubt, doubt leads to fear, fear leads to stagnation and failure. So if you want to take an action, you have 5 seconds to do it before that part of your brain takes over and just tears you down. So when I woke up in the morning, I had this little sticky note right by my bed. And it said 3, 2, 1, blast off. So when I woke up and I opened my eyes and I went to reach for that alarm clock to turn it off, I saw that Post-it note. And in my mind, unconsciously, it would just start counting down 3, 2, 1, and boom, I'd sit up in bed. By the time I sat up, the action was taken. I couldn't overthink it and tell myself, oh no, I'm really tired, I should probably go back to sleep. I got moving. In the end, action will beat anxiety. Once you get moving, it's harder to stop. But if you're not moving and you're thinking, it's harder to get going. So Mel Robbins' 5-second rule is one of the most powerful things that you can do to overcome indecision and overthinking. Now, the third tool that I tell all of our clients is something that I termed lead with your heart, clean up with your mind. Now, in a world where we're taught to be very intellectual and we're taught to think through things, we're very left-brained in our society. But the truth is, our left brain, frankly, is an overthinker, and it's scared, and it wants to keep us safe. But if we ever want to accomplish anything in life, we have to lead with our heart. We have to lead with action. Most people think things, and then they take action. But truly successful people take action, and then they think about the action they took, they learn from it, and they clean up the mess. This is what I tell my clients all the time. You have to lead with your heart. Do the thing that scares you. Lead with your heart. Lead with the courage. Lead with purpose. And then use this beautiful brain that you're given to clean up the mess that you make behind you. Make it better, make it easier to move forward in the future. But if we start by thinking through things, we will always cause ourselves to be paralyzed. Take action first, clean up the mess afterwards. In the end, for anybody who wants to be successful, the truth is, we all know you're the number one thing holding yourself back. And the number one thing about you that's holding you back is the overthinking that's going on in your head. So until you learn how to overcome that overthinking, you'll always be stuck where you're at. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, go ahead and hit the like button below and let me know you did. And comment below any future topics that you might want me to cover in a future video. And make sure to subscribe to our channel so you never miss another great video. And I'll see you in there.